Hi guys, and welcome back to Inside in the Blue Crew. And today it's definitely going to be a different type of video. Today I really wanted to talk about something that has affected our family recently, and it's just like a candid, just coming to the camera to talk straight to you about this. And it's definitely something that is new for me. So I'm just gonna jump right in, and hopefully I'm not all over the place. I try to do some bullet points, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so as you guys have seen from the title, today we're going to be talking about how to deal with bullying. And bullying is something that has, started from back in the day, just picking on, a child for the way that they look, the way that they dress, the way that they sound, their size or shape. But nowadays it's gotten even more bad with social media, and it's just gotten heightened of how bad bullying has gotten. It's gotten so bad that children are taking their lives. And this is something that's very serious, something that I really wholeheartedly feel passionate about. And I even more feel that way because it has affected a family member in my family. My oldest son came to me on last week and told me that he was bullied on the school bus on the way home. And the very first thing is attack mode, mommy mode. Who was the child? Where is the parent? Let me get to him right away. But it's so important that you take a breath, you listen to your child, you hear them out, and you take time to react. Take time to say something back. But I know the very first thing I wanted to make sure that my child knew is that they did nothing wrong. And that's very important that your child knows that, because when a child's getting bullied, it's nothing to do with the child. It's the child that is the victim. It always has something to do with the bullier, the person that is bullying that other child. And so I made sure I told him that he did not do anything wrong. And it got to the point where it was, majority of the time, it can be verbal bullying or physical bullying. And at this point, it was physical bullying. And it was not just one child, but it was two children, and they actually physically touched my child. So that made me even the more upset, because it happened on the bus when the whole school day has been gone through. You've gone through the whole entire school day. You should be tired, ready to go home, ready to just let loose and just relax and have a good, just talk with your friends on the way home. But it got to a point where they got physical. And, I really don't want to talk about exactly what happened yet, because it's still, under the and statistics show that 90% of all students are some type of way have gotten bullied in their school career. So that's a huge number. And it's like, what's going on that all that amount of children are getting bullied? It's very important that we talk to our children and find out what's going on with them. My son ended up telling me that this happened previously a few times before, the incident that he told us about. It was that bad that when he got off the bus that afternoon, he was crying. So that's a huge thing, because my child's in 5th grade and he's 10 years old, and this should not be something that our children have to deal with. And when it comes down to it, us parents have to be very wise in how we approach even the school, and that we don't brush it under the rug. And even if the school comes to us and says, okay, we talked to the kids, we talked to their parents, they no longer could ride the bus, or they no longer could do, they're no longer allowed to do X, Y, Z or whatever. If the school says to you that they've solved it, well, you have to stand up and be a parent and say, well, you may have solved it, but I still want to know what's going on. I want to know why. I want to talk to the parents. I want to talk to the child, and to make sure that your child is really okay. And the reason why I say that is because another incident happened with my son on last year, and it had an incident at the after school care program that they were in. I was in school full time and my husband worked full time, so when they got out of school, they would go to the after school program. Well, a child in the after school program also physically bullied my son, and an incident report had to be written out. My son wasn't totally not injured to where he was hurt in any way, but they kind of brushed it under the rug and told me that they handled it. They kicked him out of the after school program. He could no longer go, and he said that they fixed it from their side, but a lot of it I felt wasn't addressed for me. So when I called and said that I'd like to set up a meeting with the principal and talk about it, and it was more so like why everything has been handled. It's just very important that we as parents, we have a student handbook. Every county has a student handbook that you definitely go on your county school board website and read up on the policy of bullying, and that your school is adhering to those rules and regulations and policies. A lot of times principals actually take it down a notch, or mold it to their understanding of it or what they feel that they need to do at their school, and it may not be in line with the district school board rules and regulations, and they have to be accountable of that. And it's very important that you continue to talk to your child. Let your child talk about the incident, talk about the situation. My child came to me about 3 or 4 different times to talk about it, and as soon as it happened, my husband actually picked up my son from the bus stop, and he saw him crying, saw him in tears, and actually called the school to set up a meeting with the principal. It's very important that you go up to the school and make a big deal about it. It's your child. You want to know all the information. You want to make a sound judgment, and you don't want to put any judgment on the child, because there's always 2 sides to every story. Also utilize videotaping. Every school bus should have a videotape. If it happens that the bullying took place on a bus where there is videotaping recordings, make sure that you get to see those recordings. It is your right as a parent, because obviously they leak those tapes to the news stations and everywhere else. Everyone else can watch them. So you are entitled to see it for yourself, to actually see what happened, and to make sure that your child really was the victim in it, and he had no part, or she had no part in it. And just continuing on with open communication, because with physical or even mental or even verbal bullying, none of it is nice. In and around where we live, there have been many deaths of young people committing suicide because they are bullied so much. And with this internet and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all of these social media outlets, it's even heightened, because back when I was young, we didn't have all this dealing with this as far as all of having cell phones. I mean, we were just getting pagers, and all you could page in there is numbers, and if you wanted to make a word, you had to make it out of numbers. So coming from that, now fast forward 2013, you have such high tech iPads and iPhones and iPods and all these different cell phones and smartphones and Androids, and all of that on its own could be very overwhelming to know that your child has access to all of that. My oldest is going to be going to middle school next year. I'm thinking about getting him a phone, just a flip phone, no internet or anything, so that he can have access to us and I have access to him. But these are the topics that are important to me, that I'm feeling that I would like to start open forums on this channel, of talking about some of these serious topics, because it affects our children. And even if you are not a parent, it affects your siblings, your brothers and your sisters. It affects yourself. It affects our future children. Just imagine if you're just getting married and you're gonna start having kids now. This is the stuff that's going to be you're going to be facing as your kids grow, and it's going to get worse if we do not talk about this and have open communication and really figure out the best things to do when it comes to the interests of our children. And I just thank you so much for listening. I will come back with an update. This is just the beginning of this whole thing, and it's just so funny that all this happened, because it's just so ironic that all this stuff just happened, because I just had gotten a call that same day from the president of the PTA at my children's school, and I was thinking about joining. Well, I already had joined, but I was thinking about actually going to all of the board meetings and stuff like that, and really getting involved with the nonprofit side, and because I have so many great ideas. But then this happened, so it's okay, this is where I stand, because it all stems down to the principal. If the principal does not say the right thing, and does not embrace us in the right way and really bring us in and engage all of us and figure out the situation together, and the result is not the way that I'm looking it to be, I don't think I can be a PTA member at this particular school. And it will almost want me to take my kids out of the school, because I've dealt so much with problems with schools, and not necessarily physical confrontations with the children. This is the first time that I've ever had to deal with this, but as far as academically with other teachers and things like that, which is another topic that we could talk about at a later date, another forum topic that we could talk about, teacher-parent relationship, and is your child being treated right? We could probably talk about that at a later date. This is reality. This is life. This is life of a parent. You never know what you're going to face as being a parent, but you have to stay prayerful and stay open communication if you are married with your companion, and if you are a single parent, just staying open and honest with your children, and really being there for your children, and letting your child know that they are loved and needed, and that they are wanted, and they are special children, and they have so many great things going for them, so that it will not hinder their grades. Because that's my main thing. He's in 5th grade, going to 6th grade, and I want him to get into a magnet school. He loves to draw, and I don't want that to hinder him from wanting to move forward and do great in school. We're getting to the end of the 9 weeks. Report cards are coming out, and this is the type of stuff that can affect their grades, affect their self-esteem, affect them mentally, to where they feel like they cannot focus because they're still worrying about that child that's bullying them. Let me know, any parents out there, or even you teens or young people that are watching this video, if you've dealt with bullying, or someone that's been bullied, or you have been a bully in the past, let's talk about it. Let me know some things that you've done, some tips that you've things that you've learned from being a bully, or things that you've learned from having a child that was bullied, and the process that you went through with the school, or what the things that you talked about with your child to encourage them and to let them know that they are special. I really feel like this is a topic that's not talked about enough. It's so important. It's a must talk about subject. So I hope that you all will respond. Please leave your comments and questions in the comment section below. Let's open this up and talk about this. I thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for watching this video. Please thumbs up this video if you felt it was helpful, or that you are on the no bullying bandwagon. And let's love our children, and let's continue to be great parents and great siblings to one another. Thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you on the next Inside the Blue Crew vlog. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.